I'm Bun Bun. Nice to meet you. And we're doing something a little different today, actually. I'm an avid reader, and here you come, bringing your ass right when I cut the camera on. Bosch is going to be joining us today, but not directly in the way, because as I was saying, I'm going to be reviewing a book that I've read. It's not a new book by any means. I have a pretty nice collection of books, not a whole lot. It's not like Beauty and the Beast, but I mean, I think it's a nice little collection myself. And this is one of the books that was in it. This is called The Dream Hunter by Sherrilyn Kenyon. Yeah. And it is from 2007. So it is not a new book by any means. And I think I might have gotten it when it was new. So if it was 2007, I was 16, 17 when I first read this. So I decided to read it again as an adult at 32, just to see, like, see how it hits, see how it lands, see where I'm at with it. And enough time had passed for me to not fully remember exactly what happened. So it wasn't exactly like reading it for the first time, but a lot of it was blurred, so it might as well have been for the first time. And it was an exciting read. Let me explain. So I'm gonna do my makeup while I'm telling you about this book, because I haven't worn makeup and I don't even know how long. It's been months. I mean, it's January now. November, because I think I did my makeup for Thanksgiving, and that was the last time. So there's this look that I really want to try to copy, really want to try to like figure out how she did the eyeshadow. I cannot do makeup. Specifically, I can't do makeup the way that she can, so it's not going to look anything like hers, but I want it to, and I'm really trying. So let's try. I don't have all the things. I don't have the glitter. I don't have the blue pigment and everything, so it's just going to be like the idea of it, the essence of it, and I'm just going to try my best. Let's go. All right, y'all. So this book starts out where he's a dream hunter. So let me back all the way up. Actually, this takes place in ancient Greece. Okay. Matter of fact, let me read the back to you. I'm gonna have to put my glasses back on for that. Okay. Condemned by the gods to live eternity without emotions, Arikos, this guy, can only feel when he's in the dreams of others. For thousands of years, he's drifted through the human unconscious, searching for sensation. Now he's finally found a dreamer whose vivid mind can fill his emptiness. Dr. Megira Kafiri. It's a Greek last name, and I'm not really, so if I'm messing it up, my bad. Watched her father ruin himself and his reputation as he searched to prove Atlantis was real. Her deathbed promise to him to salvage his reputation has now brought her to Greece, where she intends to prove once and for all that the fabled island is right where her father said it was. Instead, she finds a stranger floating in the sea, one whose face she's seen many times in her dreams. This guy. Okay. What she doesn't know is that Eric holds more than the ancient secrets that can help her find the mythical island of Atlantis. He has made a pact with the god Hades. In exchange for 2 weeks as a mortal man, he must return to Olympus with the human soul, Megaera's. Let's get into that a little bit, shall we? So, Arikos is he's a Scoti, or Skotos. Scoti is a plural. Right? Yeah, Scoti's plural, Skotos is singular. So he's a Skotos, which means that he is a dream god that can only feel emotions when he's in someone's dream. Otherwise, in his regular daily life, he can't feel anything. He cannot feel happiness, fear, sadness. He can't even feel sensations upon his skin. He doesn't know what silk feels like. He don't know what cotton feel like. He don't know what a subtle breeze feel like. He don't know when it's hot or cold out. He don't feel anything. He is just a vessel with a brain. Nothing else. No other sensations. He do get to feel a little bit when he enters people's dreams. And apparently Megara is a super dreamer. She is a vivid dreamer. She is what we would call a lucid dreamer. She can control her dreams. And so when they met, she was bathing in a river of chocolate, I believe it was. And he likes to fornicate, okay, you guys. This is what he does. This is what the Scody do, who basically, they enter dreams and they have sex with people. That's their thing. Because that's the most enjoyable sensation and most memorable sensation for them. Now, when they're outside of the dream, they don't remember exactly what it feels like. They just remember enjoying it deeply, right? But being that it is just a dream, if you can recall when you dream, have you ever really felt silk in your dream? Have you really eaten anything and known exactly what its tastes like? Have you ever eaten in your dreams? These are the things where he kind of can feel like if he's in the water or like the chocolate lake that they were in, he can almost feel the sensation of what would be like a liquid against his skin. And it's he describes it as being encompassed by something, but it's neither hot nor cold. It's neither here nor there. Really, it's just, I don't know. It's not something that us being humans would really be able to perceive, if you get my meaning. So, but that's all they can do. So they can only like live vicariously through the person that they're dreaming. So he finds her and he's really enamored by her in particular because she is a lucid dreamer, right? So basically he's having an exciting time getting to experience things because she's controlling everything. It's kind of normal. It's not like you're floating by on a cloud and then a dinosaur runs by and then all of a sudden you're in a toilet bowl or something like that. I don't know. You know, some people's dreams be just all over the place, but hers is like, hers is nice, hers is comfortable, and most importantly, she'll do the do with them. And when I tell you that they do the do, they do the do. I don't know. It's not like a heavy sex scene type book like a 50 Shades of Grey or something, but like, you know, they do it or whatever. It's fine. It's repetitive. It's not really, that's not what I'm here for, right? So he meets Megara in the dream world and she's telling him all about how she's looking for Atlantis, and how Atlantis has ruined every part of her natural born life. Now, why is that? Well, her entire family was searching for Atlantis, right? Her dad was the lead head excavator, scientist person guy, right? And he's telling everybody in the scientific world, Atlantis is real. I know where it is. We're digging for it. Me and my whole family, we're gonna find it and we're gonna show all y'all that that is gonna be the last time you play on our names. The Kafiri, what did I say? The Kafiris, you ain't gonna play in our faces for too much longer. Well, what happens is her whole entire family dies behind these excavations, right? So they're deep diving into I think they're in the Greece. They're in Greece, so the Aegean Sea. I don't. Okay, so they're deep diving, right? They're going down. They're checking it out, and for all they know, they might as well be in Mariana's Trench because they can't seem to get close to it. He knows where it is, but he can't seem to get close to it, and there's a reason. But her mother, her uncle, her brother end up, maybe her aunt too. I think her aunt too, end up passing away because of malfunctions trying to reach Atlantis. The only survivor is the father. And you know, he's a little bent about that, losing his entire family for this little excavation thing just to prove Atlantis is real. But does it stop him? No, it does not. He persists and he keeps saying, no, it is down there. I am not wrong. I know what I'm talking about. It's there. I can feel it. And he got an artifact, you guys. He got an artifact as proof. During his digging excavations, he finds an Atlantean coin. But at this point, Megara is done with his ass, you know? She's like, my whole family is dead because of your ass, because you cannot let it go. So she ends up changing her last name. Well, she doesn't change her last name. She just goes by her mother's maiden last name, because she just doesn't want to be connected to him, because he's a laughingstock in the scientific community. So she wants her career to flourish. She cannot show up as Megara Kefari, because they're going to be like, oh, you're the daughter of that quack, and they're just not going to let her do what she want to do, right? So she's going by Megara, whatever else the other name was. But her father's dying, and one of his colleagues brings her up and says, hey, you need to go ahead and get over here. You need to go ahead and get your last goodbyes in and whatever else you need to say to him. So she gets up there and she's fully prepared to just like pay him dust. She's like, nah, I'm done with you. But he was like, listen, I'm gonna give you this box and I need you to finish what we started. I need you to prove that Atlantis is real. And instead of letting him have it and letting him know exactly how she feels about all of that, she's just like, okay, Dad, all right, yeah. Because she just wants to kind of pacify him, let him die peacefully, all of that. And then she opens the box after a little while, and there's this Atlantean coin in there. And she knows that it must be Atlantean coin because she is very good at her game, right? She knows like Grecian, Roman, who else? Etruscan, everybody's artifacts, and she's never seen this before. And she was like, ooh, Daddy might have said something. So now she's all in. She's like, okay, my daddy wasn't crazy. He wasn't a quack. Everybody finna apologize to us. I'm going by Kefari again. I'm finding Atlantis. Skip back to the Skotos, right? Eric. So she's telling him all of this in her dreams, and she was like, yeah, but I'm having such a hard time because I cannot get the permits to have the right to dig in this particular area. Like, the government is playing with me. They keep saying no, they're not letting it go, and it's just really frustrating because I know it's right there. X marks the spot. I know these are the coordinates. Atlantis is right there. And he's like, Atlantis is right there, actually. And I hope that you get to see it. I would love to show it to you sometime. But she's dreaming, right? She don't know. She's just thinking like, yeah, this, dream dude is on my side. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? She can control her dreams, right? All right, so he pops out the dream, right? And he's walking around and he was like, and he's unfeeling. He can't feel anything anymore, right? So he's like, I need to go to the real world. I need to get in between the sheets with this girl for real. That's it. That's all. That's all. That's all I want to do. He just want to dip it, get it wet a little bit, and head back out. And he was like, what do I do to make that happen? So he's plotting, he's scheming, he's pacing back and forth, trying to figure out, I want to be a real boy. Call this man Pinocchio. He want to be a real boy. Who do I need to talk to? And then he's like, Hades. If there's any man with a plan that can make it happen, it's the god of the underworld. So he go down there and he talked to him, and he was like, hey, Hades, hey, Hades, because Hades don't really like care what he's got going on. So he's got to like say, hey, Hades. And Hades is like, oh, scrub, what you want, fool? They don't get along. They have like a history, because Skotos are not like really liked, and the reason for that is because they can mess with God's dreams too. And Skotos messed with Zeus's dreams one time, and when Zeus stuck his thing in that goat, or was it a cow, some animal or whatever, apparently that was what Skotos is doing, and Zeus didn't really find it that funny. He was like, oh, I got something for that ass. And so he cursed all of the Skotos to not have emotions behind that one, like, little prank or whatever, right? Super blues for everybody. So because of that, all of the gods just, like, don't really see it for the Skoti, right? And the Skoti do have a police force that keeps them under control, and that is the Oniroi, okay. And The Oniroi make sure that the Skotos don't get too attached to one particular person and start like ruining their lives and getting too interfering and things like that, right? Exactly what Eric is doing. So he would have went after himself before he became a Skotos. Now, the reason why he's a Skotos now and not an Oniroi is because he was going after somebody, and I don't know, he fumbled the bag, basically, and he got caught up, and then he became a Scoutie.
I trusted you!
So he pumps it on down to Hades, right? And Hades was like, what do you want, scrub? Because you know they don't get along because you don't want him playing with his dreams like that. And he was like, hey, Hades, love what you've done with the place down here. Listen, I want to be made to a human for just a few weeks, just a little bit. Just want to dip my toes. I'm curiouser and curiouser. I hop in and out of these dreams, and I just want to see what it's like for real. I'm just curious. That's it. And Hades was like, oh, curious. Is there a reason something in the human world would make a Scotty so curious? And Eric is like, nah, not really. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, I just want to know what it feel like for real. I'm trying to feel a breeze for real. I'm trying to feel like what chocolate actually feel like and things like that. Like, I'm just trying to know. And Hades is like, who is she? And Eric was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he was like, I have been alive for millennia, and you want me to think that a god just wants to go down to earth for no reason? Oh, babe, you got to get up pretty early in the morning to fool me. So he was like, all right, yeah, okay, boom. I want to go mess with this girl. There's this girl, and I'm trying to go mess with her. And Hades was like, okay, you know what? I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling generous because I get it. You have someone that you're attached to. I have someone that I'm attached to, you know, his wife Persephone. So he was like, you know, I'm gonna do this for you, but you're gonna do something for me in return. Remember, Eric can't feel anything, so he's not thinking any of this through. He's just one track, tunnel vision. He wants what he wants. I actually meant to do my eyebrows first, and I didn't even bring a spoolie in, so never mind. So he was like, yeah, I'll send you. You can be human for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And then you're going to punch it on back. And in return, you're going to bring me a human soul. But not just any human soul. You're going to bring me that girl soul that you're so interested in. Oh, yeah. Both of you walking through that door in 2 weeks. So he's like, all right, bet. And he was like, not so fast. Not so fast, little Scotty. Little scout. If you don't bring me the girl's soul like we agreed, I'm going to f you up for eternity. I am going to absolutely dismantle you for eternity. I'm going to make you regret coming to see me today. But again, Eric can't feel, so he's not feeling the threat, the promise behind these words, because he don't have feelings. He cannot feel fear. He cannot feel threat. He cannot feel the forethought. So he's like, whatever, let me go. Give me my ticket, please. So he does. He's like, all right, boom, enjoy 2 weeks. So he makes him human, and he just drops him in the ocean. right in front of Megara's boat. Because she was out to sea. She was doing like a little voyage thing, right? So he drops her right there. Bloop. So he's in the water. He's, oh my God, where am I? What is happening? I cannot breathe. Bloop, 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 bloop. He's drowning, like immediately. Because humans cannot breathe underwater. Now for him, it's neither here nor there. In the other world, he can breathe absolutely everywhere. But in the world, in the human world, well, we can't do that, and he's one of us now, right? He's gang now, so he's in the water, splashing, flailing, doesn't know where he's at, doesn't understand these sensations. It's cold, my lungs are burning, I have lungs now, I have to take a breath, but I can't. There's nothing but this wet substance in it, water. Well, Megara looks over and she's like, oh God, there's a man in the water. So she dives in, right, real heroic, like Pocahontas, just flies in there, and she saves him with a little bit of an ado, right, because he's panicking at this point. Not only is he a human that's drowning, but he's a brand new human that's drowning, right? So she gets him on the boat, and everybody's soaking wet, right, and he has this like white godlike outfit on, right? So that means since it's white and he's wet, everything is just visible and it's clinging to every single muscle. I mean, apparently this man is built like Henry Cavill was for Superman. I mean, he is just godly, right? Well, everybody on the ship is witnessing this, including her little cousin, who's like 15, 16, I think, or something, whose aunt, remember her aunt and uncle that passed away? That was her parents, so both of them have been orphaned because of this, but she's an adult, and the cousin is a child, right? So she's there too, and the child was really giving, if any of you played Persona, the girl is kind of giving Futaba. Alright, so that's just an aside, but, so they're all on the boat, and she's looking at him, and she's like, bam, he looked familiar. Like, facially, bodily. This man looked a little familiar. But ain't no way, because I didn't just save a drowning man from the ocean that was from my dreams. That would be insane. I'm a scientist, and that's just not real life. Right? Well, some time passes and he gets his bearings, and they ask him, like, what the hell were you doing in the middle of the ocean? How did you get there? You weren't there, and then you were there. And then he was like, I was swimming. And I was really tired. And so I started to drown. Thanks so much for saving me. And he's looking at her and he's like, Megara, thank you so much for saving me. She's like, you're welcome. But how did you know my name? Well, we know how he knows her name, right? But everybody in the real world, nobody calls her Megara. Everyone calls her Gary, right? Strike one. And she's realizing, this man of my dreams calls me Megara in my dreams, and now he's standing in front of me calling me Megara. This is wild. I'm losing it. But then she's like, no, because everybody else sees him too. It's really happening. Something's really weird here. I must have made him up. I must have met him before at like a past conference. And that's why I remembered him, and like he became a part of my dream cycle or whatever. So he's like, yes, right. I was at conference such and such, and you were talking about XYZ, because remember, she tells him everything in her dreams. That's like her confidant. That's her good Judy / man, right? So she's telling him everything, so he's able to just recall everything. And not only that, but since he is a god, he's able to download anything that he needs to know, right? So he's like, I need to learn how to swim. So he just kind of trances and he figures everything out, right? Okay, so that happens. And then he's getting a little impatient because his first and primary objective is to get it in, right? He's trying to stick it in between those cheeks. And she's just not gonna let him do that, right? Because, sorry, who are you? You are a stranger, sir. I don't do that. Megara is a very conservative, scientific woman. She doesn't date because she doesn't have time for it. And plus, all of these dudes out here are just... they don't have the same goals, they don't have the same aspirations, and if you're not 110% in line with what I've got going on, I just don't have time for you. So she just doesn't date. And a lot of men don't really like gravitate towards her, apparently, because they find her too intimidating. She's too much her own person. She's not
submissive.
But not only that, but apparently she also isn't like the ideal body type, you know, whatever society standards says that would be. So Megara is like, she's tall. I think she's like 5'10", 5'11", maybe 6 foot. So she's between 5'10" and 6 foot. Like this is a tall family, right? All the girls in this family, stallions, right? But also she's thick. She's Miss Thickums, right? She's got hips, she's got ass, she's got titties, she's got everything. This girl is voluptuous and tall, right? And I guess a lot of guys don't go for that. So she's been thugging it by herself, and she's been fine. She's been happy. It's been nice having these little, you know, interlopes in the dream world, and it would be nice to have someone in the real world too, but that's not her focus. She's trying to find Atlantis, okay? So he loves everything about her physically. He's like, this woman, my God, she is it. She is Venus, and he knows Venus. So he's very careful not to like say that out loud, because we know how Venus feels when, you know, people start comparing her and them, and then she just, but this is what he's feeling like. He's like, this girl, I don't know what these earthlings is talking about, because mwah, sis is it. And he's not very like acclimated on how to, you know, court a lady in order to get her to sleep with you. So he fumbles a lot, and she nearly takes his head off, and it was deserved, because sir, but no. So he's like, I can help you get those permits for Atlantis. And she's like, really, why? And he was like, you can find that I can be very persuasive, but also I know people in the exact connected spots that you need to be in. So do for me, do for you, right? Do for you, do for me. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Now he's not saying I'll do this for you if you have sex with me, but he's hoping that if he does this for her, knowing that's the only thing in this world she wants, maybe she'll start feeling a little like, all right, you know? So it turns out he actually does know a guy, and that guy is Solon. And Solon is his brother. Now, I know you're thinking, his brother, really? But I thought they were gods. Well, Solon is also a Scoti, but he's a god and a human mix. Like his mom was mortal or something like that. I don't know. The gods, they're not very nice to him, right? You know, like typical mixed behavior. He's too human for the gods. He's too god for the humans. Da, da, da. Nobody really likes this guy. They've treated him crazy for centuries. They've abused him. They've used him. It's a really sad lot, right? So because of that, he is very vengeful, honey. He is very about himself and only himself, and F everybody but me, because I've been in this world alone, and I'm gonna go out this world alone. Well, this is the guy that Eric is calling for that favor. And he's like, hey, brother, so good to see you. How are you doing? And he's like, what are you doing here? Okay, so why are they brothers? Because all Skotos are like kind of related, I guess. They'll have like the same dad and different moms or whatever, you know, very like Zeus-like, where how he has just like a bunch of kids, that sort of thing. So they're like distantly related, but like in a god sort of way. everybody's my brother and sister kind of thing. Like if you're Scody, if you're a Skodos, then we're all, you know, Neroy, like we're all one big happy fam. Well, we're one big fam. We're not happy, but we are family. Okay. So he was like, I need you to help me get some documents so that she can dig for Atlantis. And he was like, you really lost me at you want me to help you? And then you just kept blathering on. And then you stopped at Atlantis. And there's just so much ask from me when I don't even like you like that. So I don't even know why you're on my line right now. It's confusing to me. And he was like, listen, okay. I'll help you with something. I'll do something for you. And he was like, word? And he was like, yeah, but I need your help on this one. I really need your help on this one. See, he was like, you know what? I'm feeling generous. How did you become human, by the way? And he was like, I made a deal with Hades so I could be human for 2 weeks. And Solon is putting 2 and 2 together because he was like, Hades don't just do things for people. So Solon knows. Oh baby, Solon is quick on his feet. He's been around the block. And he was like, don't worry about it, big dog. I'ma get them papers for you. Don't worry about it. I'ma bring them over myself. So we can have a little catch up, a little chit chat. I'll see you tomorrow with them papers. Eric's like, cool. And he think he good. But what's the story about Solon? Why was he suddenly feeling so helpful? Well, Solon has been in love before. He's been in love before and something happened. Something happened to her. He had a family. But remember when I said the gods punished all of the Skodos? Some of those Skodos had their families taken from them. Solon was one of them. So he's very surly now towards everybody and everything. And he knows that if he made a deal with Hades, well, that could only mean that you made a deal back. And Hades deals in souls. So if you exchanged your godhood for 2 weeks to be a human here on the earth plane, you're gonna need to bring a soul back. And I bet you 9 times out of 10, it's that girl that you're here at my doorstep about some paperwork. And Solon at this point just loves the idea of watching the world burn because he knows that in those 2 weeks, Eric is gonna start to feel something. He gonna start to feel a little bitter batter in that chest. He gonna start to feel a little longing, a little loving, a little caring. He's gonna start to feel worry for her well-being. And eventually, it's gonna dawn on him that pact that he made with Hades. And he's gonna realize that this beautiful, vibrant, full of life woman over here that he's gonna fall in love with is going to die. And it's going to be his fault. And he is going to feel the devastation for being the reason why. And Solon is ready to eat that up. Oh, that is delicious for him. He's like, oh my God. Oh, look at this gift that just dropped onto my lap out of nowhere. And I get to witness someone else being as miserable and as hurt as I am. Oh my God. And it's another god? Oh, say less. Let me see what I can do to help, brother. So he runs them their paperwork the next day, and they're talking with each other, and they're playing the dozens. You would think that these people were siblings all their life and grew up together, because the way that they jaw-jacking, going back and forth, playing the dozens and whatnot, and really, Megara is picking up on all of this, and she was like, wow, you guys don't really seem to, like, get along. You guys don't really seem to like each other, which is really interesting because Eric has been telling me that he kind of grew up isolated in the mountains, and that's why he's not very good at human interactions and makes so many flubs. So the fact that you guys are this close and able to argue back and forth with each other about very particular things is interesting. And Solon was like, oh, babe, isn't it? Oh, you don't know the half of our family dynamic. In which Eric goes, silently tells him in his mind to shut up. You're going to blow everything. Don't blow up the spot. So they get those permits. And they're getting ready to deep dive and whatnot. And there's another lady on the boat. Her name is, it's like Catherine, Katya, something. Let's call her Kat. If that ain't her name, if you read the book, then you'll know who I'm talking about. So she's there, and she sees Eric, and she's like, what are you doing here? And this is when nobody's around, right? Because otherwise, if she did that while everyone's around, then, you know, everything is getting a lot more suspicious. So Kat asked him, what are you doing here, Scotty? And he was like, what are you? And she was like, don't worry about it. Just understand that you are playing a very dangerous game right now. I have been on this expedition for years in order to keep the secret location of Atlantis safe. And now you're here threatening to open the doors wide open for Megara. That's my girl, but let me tell you something. We're not going to Atlantis. So now you're wondering, well, what's the big deal about Atlantis? Why does Atlantis have to be this secretive? Why is it so kept away? Well, Atlantis is basically the tomb of the goddess Apollonie. And apparently Apollonie might as well be Thanos. Something happened back in the day that pissed her all the way off. So she went on a rampage. And she killed so many gods, and they had their hands full. I mean, she was over 9,000. This girl might have been Beerus. I mean, she was a problem, and it took all of the gods of the on Olympus to, you know, spirit bomb together to be able to lock her away in Atlantis. Right. And she's mad about it. She's pissed. Oh, she feels away. She's like, when I get out of here, baby, somebody's going to free me. People are looking for Atlantis all the time, and I'm going to show them where I'm at. Someone's going to open the gate. Someone's going to let me out. And guess what happens when they do? Because she can telepathically talk to the gods and stuff. So if they're close enough, they can hear her, right? And so Kat, she can hear Apollonie. But Kat and Apollonie, they have like an understanding. Okay? They have an understanding. But Kat is also not just a regular girl. Right? Because if she knows exactly who Eric is and what he is, and he knows that she's got something to her, and she's there specifically so that Atlantis isn't uncovered, well, now Eric has another problem on his hands, right? Now everybody's trying to do this on the low so that the other shipmates don't notice, and specifically that Geary don't notice that anything is out of place, out of order, that anything is up. Well, it's excavation day, and they go down to see about Atlantis. And Solon is on the ship, and he's not going. He's not going. But he wants to be on the ship just to witness, just to see, just to like be there. He wants to be in the room where it happens, right? So they go down, and they're 30 leagues under the sea, right? They're all the way down there. And it's at this point that Megaera starts to hear Apollonie, and she's like, "Dear child of mine, come over here and let me out. I will give you everything your heart desires. Should you just open the latch and let me out?" Kat hears this and she's like, "Oh God, Giri, let's come over here. Look at this. Oh, isn't this rock so interesting? What's happening over here?" Trying to steer her out of the way. She doesn't know that Megaera can hear Apollonie, but she can hear her. So she's like, dear girl, let's come over here just a little bit. Get a little close. Well, they're not the only ones that know how close she is. Right? So something happens to her boat with all her family that's left up on the water. And the reason why they know that is because a bunch of shrapnel starts raining down into the ocean on top of them. And they almost get decapitated, to tell you the truth, and impaled. So they're ducking and dodging and trying to make their way back to the top, but you can't just, when you're that far under the sea, you can't just shoot back up to the top. You gotta go to these different stations, decompress, let your body get acclimated, and then go up, go to the next station, decompress. So they couldn't just shoot up there to see what was going on, right? So it's just agonizing amount of time on top of the fact that she's trying to hyperventilate, but you only have so much oxygen, right? So if you're doing all this extra, that's oxygen that you're using in a space with no oxygen, right? Oh, buddy. So they get up there. Finally. She barely makes it, though, because they have to tell her. They have to tell her, look, you're gonna die. You need to relax. You need to breathe. You need to... And we're gonna get up there, and we're gonna find whatever we find, but it's not gonna change anything. You need, right now, you need to breathe. Okay. So they get up there. And the boat is everywhere. It is a scattered mess. And she just knows that the last of her family and her shipping crew and everybody else is gone. It just smithereens. There's nobody could have survived this. The cat that was on board, it's implausible. She just knows that she's about to be planning like 7 funerals now. And it's her fault because she just couldn't let Atlantis go. It's not good enough that her entire family died behind this, but now she's gotten the entire rest of it killed, and it's never gonna be okay for her. She's not ever gonna be okay. And Eric realizes that he can still feel Solon. Well, why is that? Where's everybody? Well, it turns out that he felt a little something, and he was like, "Ooh, everybody get off the boat. Let's go. Let's hit it." And everyone's like, "Why? What's going on?" He's like, "Get off the boat!" So they are safe, but barely. So everyone's like, "Whoa, what happened? Oh my God, that was like a freak accident. What? Was it?" No, it wasn't. They were getting dangerously close to Atlantis and letting Apollonie out, which is exactly what the gods don't want them to do. So one of the gods, and I won't say who, but one of the gods blew that boat sky high as a warning. Quit looking for Atlantis. So now Megaera has all kinds of otherworldly eyes on her that she doesn't even know exist. She doesn't know any of that is real. She's just thinking that it's still myths, that it's still legends, that it's fairy tales, that it's nonsense. But so many strange things are happening, and what was that voice in my head, and how is the man of my dreams standing right in front of me. None of this is making sense. So she's telling herself, okay, you need to go get checked out. You need to go to the doctor and see what's going on. Maybe you finally have cracked under the pressure of everything. She's trying to figure it out. But that's not the only thing that's unraveling, right? Remember how I said the Scody and the Oneroy don't have feelings? Everybody was punished by Zeus. Well, there are like there's a chain of command, right? And there's like the dudes up here that I'm getting ready to talk about, and then there's the Oneroy, and then there's the Scody, right? And the dudes up here, they have like a little army that they can like say, hey, go get them, sort of thing, you know? So those three guys, they're starting to feel things. And they have been feeling things for a little while. I don't know if it's a full range of emotion or if it's like at 100%, but it's not 0%. It ain't that. It's not 0%. And if the gods find that out, oh gosh. You know, because they can feel fear now. They can feel trepidation and uncertainty. And it's scaring the hell out of them. So they're like, we're starting to feel things. And who knows if it's just us or not. But what we do know is we are a part of that. We're part of the feeling crew now. We're here. Yeah, we're valid now. We're valid. We are valid. And this little Scody down here, this little scrotum, might blow up the spot for us, because if the gods start finding out that we can feel, because he might like rat us out or something thanks to his little, you know, sexcapade or whatever, it's implementing a lot of us. We got to get rid of him. We got to get rid of him. Eric is causing a bunch of problems. So they send, like, these people are basically the Volturi, okay? And they send like their little henchmen out, and they're like, hey, go get them, because this ain't it. They're gonna blow up the spot. We can't have that. You know, I'm trying to have my cake and eat it too. And he's about to ruin it. So they send these people down to go kill him and Megira. It's just a bad time for Megira right now. And she don't even know is the thing though. So she goes to sleep, right? Megira's asleep and she's dreaming. And, you know, in her little dream world, you know, Eric goes in there and, you know, they do little devil's tango or whatever. And in the middle of like having a good time and stuff, there's some people that just like rise up out of the water. They just kind of walk. And she's like, that's weird. I've never had that happen in a dream before. And Eric is like really concerned about that. And he's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, I might have halfway done something. I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but in person it looks pretty nice. Okay, so they come up and they got weapons, and they're these like tall, like interesting, like, you know, ethereal looking people. And she's like, huh, this is wild. Well, the problem is they start running at them full force. And she's like, oh my gosh, dream is taking a turn here. And they start fighting Eric. Oh yeah. But it's not even so much a fight so much as they just start beating this man's ass. Now he's not getting like completely punked, but he don't have his full-blown god powers anymore, right? He's a human in dreamland right now, so it's not quite the same. So he's getting them cheeks clapped a little bit, you know what I mean? And she was like, no, I don't want this. And so she shifts the dream, and it works for a little bit, but he realizes that, well, the something. He was like, they're gonna keep coming for me. They were sent by the Volturi. They're gonna keep coming for me. And she was like, what is going on? Well, they go out to dinner, right? And he was like, I'm just gonna, you know, like explain some things to you. But the problem is those same people show back up. And she's like, okay. I'm okay. I'm actually losing it because you were in my dream and now you're here, and they were in my dream and now they're here, and like, what's going on? And he was like, what's going on is we need to run right now. Like, right now. So they're running, and they're fighting, and like, she was like, somebody tell me something, and he was like, hey, all the stories are true. I don't know how you feel about that, but there's a reason why, like, I was able to get those papers for you. There's a reason why I knew exactly where Atlantis was. There's a reason why that I'm here. And more importantly, there's a reason why those people are coming to kill us. And she was like, a whole lot of me and you in there. Us. What are you talking about? And it's at that point that the story really starts just kicking into 12th gear. So now we've reached the point of where this little book review ends, because I don't want to spoil anything past that point. That was just to like get your feet wet to see what was, you know, what you're really dealing with. Now, if you've read this book before, you know, let me know down in the comments, but I'll just give you a little bit more of my thoughts about it. Now, was it well written? Yes, I did quite enjoy it myself. It was engaging. It was written in a really like compelling sort of way. I did find myself wanting to see what happens again, you know, despite the fact that I had read it before years and years ago. But I couldn't remember exactly how everything went down. So it wasn't like, I wasn't bored. I never felt like I wanted to put that book down and start something else. I did have other books that I wanted to read in conjunction with it. Now that did happen, but I didn't feel like, oh, I'm getting bored of this book and I'm just gonna go ahead and put it down, you know? Like, I wanted to stick it out and see what happens. Now, is what happens pretty predictable? Yes and no. There were some areas where I was like, oh, wow. Oh, so is that what happens? And there were some areas where I'm like, okay, yeah, well, you knew that were gonna happen. So if you think the book ends the way that you think it does, no, it doesn't. It actually doesn't. But if you think it ends the way that you think it does, yeah, it does. So take that how you take that, because both are true. All right, so let's see how it looks. You can like barely see it. It's there, it's visible, it exists. But I swear my glasses like hide everything. And I can't actually see what's going on right now, so I can't actually see how it looks on camera. I will see it when I'm editing it. All right, you guys, I really tried. I'm gonna try to do my, and I don't have my spoolie to do my, and I don't even have my, okay, hold on. I'll be back. Okay, so I tried to do like a little something to kind of finish it out. I'm terrible at lips, you guys, and I really want to be good at it. I definitely have that pouty look. Like, look. Because my lips are already big, and then anytime I line them, it just makes them even bigger. And I know these are the lips that the girlies are going to get injections for, so like, I guess I'm kind of in that makeup realm already for free $99, but it just, I'm not, Jesus, this is what I'm talking about. I'm just like not good at it. Like, I really like the gradient look. I'm a bit nicer at that. Lining is just terrible. But read the book, and if you do, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.